Hi.
Hello, folks.
Hi, everyone. Oh, we've got people here. Good. Nice to see y'all. Got a bit of a different show today. I'm sure the man will tell you.
I'm just going to put it this way.
you know.
We're having fun here, and technically we're still having fun here because I think it's pretty obvious that Sharon and I are both into true crime. A lot of the people who are tuning into this channel come from our true crime channels. So, in a sense, we're not talking about something that's strictly funny or fun, but for us, it's something we're very interested in, and it's very, something that we have an interest in. So, like I said, man, the return of Unsolved Mysteries, man. I mean, I grew up with Unsolved Mysteries. That was a huge show when I was a kid. We used to love Unsolved Mysteries. Robert Stack. I mean, just watching this show again, hearing that music again, dude, just like sends chills down your spine, dude, and brings back memories.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, I had forgotten about the Unsolved Mysteries theme until I heard it again, and I was like, oh, whoo, man.
I think over here they played it on the sci-fi. We had a sci-fi channel on the telly, and I think they put it on that because they would put Unsolved Mysteries or like unexplained death programs or like ones where there was hauntings and things like that. You know, they would put on that sort of channel and like.
But Unsolved Mysteries wasn't always like paranormal or what. I mean, there was a lot of stories in Unsolved Mysteries that are just like what we're going to talk about today, where something happened in reality. You know what I mean? It's clearly the physics may be a little bit rough, but this clearly happened in reality, and so you know what I mean. So not to say that. Well, like I said, I've watched ahead, and I know that if in a later episode in this season that there's some alien ship sighting, UFO sighting type thing. So there's some interesting stuff in the season, but the first couple will deal with real true crime kind of things, and I would be interested. I would be very interested, folks. Those of you tuning into this and don't know who I am, I have a channel that's dedicated to true crime, justice reform, and that sort of stuff. And if there's anybody in Baltimore that is wanting to, become a sleuth and start trying to figure some of this stuff out, and you need somewhere to be able to, somewhere to get the message out when you find something, let me know. I'll help you guys, get it out there if you guys find anything. So now that, obviously that may be depending on whether or not all Unsolved Mysteries is interested in it first. But like I say, if you ever get to the point where people are dragging their feet and aren't interested, let me take a look at it. If I see the merit in it, I'll help you create awareness of it. So, but anyways, very interested to see what will happen here. I want to see justice for Ray. I'm convinced his friend is a freaking jackass, and his friend is probably involved with it, which is all the more galling because the only reason Ray moved his wife there was because of this friend and the constant, I guess you might say just browbeating of Ray, and he just, wanted Ray to come there and work with him and everything. So Ray did, and then this happens, and upon Ray's death, the guy literally disappears from Ray's family's life. Literally, like he doesn't want to acknowledge. He doesn't even say offer his condolences for his friend's passing.
Didn't go to their memorials.
When approached for comment, has nothing to say. Just completely ghosts his supposed best friend, who he tried very hard to convince to come there. And it's like, how's that? You
got him there for an ulterior motive, definitely. To get him out of trouble and to try and get his darkened name, because he'd obviously had trouble in the company and wanted to use Ray, the writer, to help him.
I mean, obviously
to try and sweeten that.
Yeah, obviously that company was having trouble. They'd already gotten in trouble once for misrepresenting some stocks in a thing that they did, whatever. So it could be that Ray discovered that they were doing, maybe something else, maybe a little similar, maybe a little worse. And maybe he had knowledge of it, and maybe that's what ended up happening here. That they were trying to shut that up so that the SEC didn't end up on their doorstep, right?
It's the fact that he got the call and just said, "Oh," and rushed out the door.
Rushed, right.
And then never seen again.
Jacket, you know, I mean, like, he just literally had
flip flops on,
phone, flip flops, and a wallet,
glasses.
You know what I mean,
yep,
glasses. Yep. I mean, that's it. Literally out the door, that fast.
I thought the fact his money clip was missing was
interesting
strange.
too,
yeah. I mean, that was a beautiful thing. That was, and I mean, well, you could easily say it could have pinged off. Somebody could have stolen it in the street or whatever. You know, if it ended up, flying out his pocket or whatever. But for the glasses to be there, perfect, and for the phone to be there, perfect. You know, I mean, I don't know if it had just been like the phone. You could think, well, phones from way back in 2006 were pretty indestructible compared to like today's phones, you know, but not from falling out of a, floor, however high up, enough to do the damage to him. And yet the phone and the glasses are, in perfect condition. And it's like, if he went through feet first, how were the flip-flops outside,
Right. That's true.
And also they were broken.
How do you have like footprints from the flip-flops on the lower roof? Mm-hmm. It's like if he's falling from this is the real trouble with this one, folks. It's like it's why I agree with the one detective who says it looks staged.
Yeah, definitely.
What it looks like is this is the best scenario that I can come up with to explain this. That he fell from somewhere high up on the Belvedere.
Mm. Which was 40 foot away, though, remember?
With the lower probability of possibility on this one, but possibly maybe even a helicopter. I just think it's unlikely, but maybe. But somewhere up on the Belvedere, he off of the ledge here. Let me just screen share with everybody real quick to show you what we're talking about. Bring up that one there. Okay, so this is the Belvedere Hotel, folks. For those of you who haven't watched it, now this is the hole where Rey Rivera went through. Okay, this roof here is much lower, as you can tell. Sorry, as you can tell, it's much lower than say this ledge here, or this ledge here, or even the roof. Now you couldn't have really kind of gotten there from over here. No, you know what I mean, because you got.
They said it was 40 foot away. 40 foot away. They said from the point.
Well, and that's what I'm getting at. It wouldn't be 40 feet from here, but the problem is you got these chimney stacks in the way.
Yeah.
So, so it couldn't have been from these corners, which means it would have had to have been from over here. Mm-hmm. And when you figure that out, it's 40 feet out and I think 40 feet down. The fact that it's so far down, maybe you can get that arc to go that far. I mean,
they were saying, could you do a run and jump in flip-flops? Well, you maybe could. Maybe that would be why they would be broken, because you would maybe break them as you do the, the jump off type thing. But then you would expect one of them to be left either in the the well in between the hole in between the hotel and the actual hole in the roof. You would expect it to fall off. If it's burst enough that it's broken, you'd expect it to fall off there rather than end up off his feet and then top of the roof.
Right.
I mean, footprints on it, flip-flops falling down could leave a print that would look like a footprint, but not walking.
No, walking prints, right. That's my point. So this is the odd thing. So it's like he comes from up there somehow, folks, and he goes through that roof. Now, we know he had to go through either feet first or head first with no spin.
Yeah.
Okay, we know that because, and we deduce that because we see the hole in the roof is a very, very narrow hole. It's like it's like just a tiny bit bigger than Ray's actual body is.
Yeah, and he had terrible rib injuries, injuries from the impact. You would think of going through the hole. Had
he been spinning, or had he hit like a belly flop?
Yeah.
it would have created a huge indent in that roof, and he probably wouldn't have went through.
No, I don't think
so. Yes, these are interesting things we have to consider. So he had to have hit head first or feet first with no spin to be able to go through the roof the way he did. Now, the really, really bizarre part is the fact that his glasses and cell phone are sitting right there next to the hole on the roof.
Yeah.
Like what to do with a suicide. Not even a scratch on either one. Like literally, not even a scratch on either one. And then you have a broken flip-flop, okay, and tracks from flip-flops. Well, if these are Rey's flip-flops, how would Rey be tracking the flip-flops, making tracks with the flip-flops on the roof, leading to the hole that he fell through? Right? So these are some of the bizarre oddities that are connected to the Rey Rivera case that we're, that we're getting on about.
Miss Wheelas asked about the helicopter. Apparently next to where that building was, there was a hospital quite nearby. So there was a helicopter that would be flying back and forth. So the residents said that hearing helicopters and things like that wouldn't have been, out of the blue, because it was quite common for them to hear them above their head. But apparently, this is just going from articles that I've read and stuff like that. Apparently, the cops looked into that and looked at the air traffic, type people to see whether there was any other helicopters permitted to be flying around. But they said that there wasn't. But how much they looked into that when they wanted to make it a suicide, apparently they didn't knock on every door in the Belvedere either. It was apparently just, if they saw someone, they asked them, because again, they assumed it was a suicide. So, they weren't really putting all their...
I don't know why they would assume that.
Yeah. Because apparently a woman, and she wrote a book about it. She said she heard a big thud that night.
Right. Yeah, it's
one of the residents. She was on the 5th floor,
right,
in the hotel. It wasn't a hotel anymore. It was yeah.
Interesting. She would have been low enough to probably hear it better.
Yeah.
Depending on which side.
I think she just assumed it was.
If she was on this side of the hotel, she probably would have definitely heard it.
Yeah. But apparently it was quite noisy. They were always hearing like bumps, and there was always things flying over. There was always street noise. There was a car park. The car place right opposite. So
right. There's actually a parking garage, with a rooftop, parking right here.
Yeah.
Where my mouse is here.
One of the theories that I
read to think about whether it could have been from here, but it's just not high enough to explain him going through like metal beams that he went through.
One of the things I saw, and I'm not saying that I'm following this theory, but someone said he could have been knocked down on that roof, and that's what propelled him over there, and that could have explained the unexplained shin injuries. If a car had hit him, up there. So, because I think that was about 20 foot or something like that away from there. But I would have thought it would have propelled him for enough to, knock him over. I mean, poor soul.
And I would think from a fall like that, only 20 feet up, it would have been very difficult for him.
That's what I think as well,
If he got hit, I mean, if you follow along with me here, let me stop sharing for a second.
Yeah.
So if you imagine, let's say he's standing there, let's say a car is coming and it's hitting him here. Well, he's gonna get falling backwards, but he's gonna start leaning, right? So that means he's most likely to fall down on the roof in either a back flop or a belly flop type of.
That's what I thought.
Hitting, right?
Yeah.
So that doesn't really go to explaining how he got it would be hard to believe they would do a complete like flip.
And if he did do like a 360,
perpendicular to the roof, that's.
And then there wouldn't maybe be enough force to go right through.
Yeah, maybe if it was 50 feet higher than the other roof, maybe. But 20 feet, I don't know. I don't see somebody. I don't know.
No. Well, that's what I thought. I thought that was a bit, but it was interesting looking at different theories. It's like it started to get a bit like the JFK theories. It'll be aliens have abducted him next and dropped him, from space. It's like people get so far fetched, and often it's it's not as convoluted as some people get. But that doesn't mean just assume suicide just because it's I think if someone was trying to make it look like a suicide, they picked a really stupid place because otherwise
it seems like a matter of convenience, like maybe a meeting was happening at that hotel or something like that, and I don't know. Like, was he coming to blow the whistle and got headed off by a security detail? Or, there's, and nobody's talking about it, obviously.
Yeah. And I'm sure
the security for that company, the security guards all have to sign non-disclosure agreements, I'm sure.
Talking about maybe being a whistleblower or coming out with something like that, he found something. Remember the night before he went missing, his house alarm went off for the first time ever?
Yes. No, it was the second time, but
the first time then it went off again. Second, but I mean it was the night before.
The second time was the night before he disappeared. Absolutely. Yeah.
And then I think the second time was the following Tuesday. I think that was what Alison, his wife, had said. So while he was there, it had only went off once. But then after he was obviously missing. So somebody's been trying to get something or think that he's had something there in that house. Thought he's found out something because obviously with him being a writer and stuff like that, and he did documentary programs and stuff like that as well, didn't he? That's what it said. So they were maybe thinking he had some sort of scoop. Not that I like that phrase, I hate that phrase.
Right.
But so they were obviously looking for something. Yeah, you would land in
they were. It looks like they were. Yeah. And you make a point. I mean, Ray was a brilliant writer. I mean, most people agree that he was a pretty brilliant writer. He's, they could have easily been scared of him. I mean, he was clearly a smart guy. Clearly, he may not have had a head for finance and numbers and stocks or whatever, but he was smart enough to understand. You know what I mean? Even if maybe it wasn't what he wanted to do ultimately with his life. So, I think Ray found out something that somebody wanted to keep under
within that company. Yeah. Something in that company.
I mean, most likely wanted to avoid the SEC. Most likely wanted to, whatever it would have probably brought the SEC in and had the SEC all over him, like flies on dog shit. You know what I mean? So that's
because they'd already been fined $1.5 million.
Right, they'd already been busted once. I mean, if they had another thing happen, it was probably going to be really bad news. And so I could see with that in the air, I could see that if he knew something, somebody might be stupid enough to try to make the problem go away in this way. And it looks like so far they've been successful, but I got to tell you, now you got Unsolved Mysteries on your ass.
Yeah, exactly. And us.
You're
you got to watch out for us.
Away with it at this point. You might have been okay if Unsolved Mysteries hadn't picked it up, but now
I mean, the monetary, the fact that it would, the reputation would have, they wouldn't have been trusted with people's, giving advice for people's money and stuff like that. If another thing had came up, it would have been, But I mean, I wonder. It's like, is that friend of his that was such a close friend that, supposedly, it's, why would you not go to the memorial? Why would you not go?
Oh,
why would you not go? And apparently there was 2 memorial services, so why would you not go?
His friend sets my spidey sense a tingling. So, that guy, seriously, he sets off all kinds of red flags for me. That guy, yeah. So I feel very sure that he is going to be part of this in the end when it gets figured out. I mean, it seems unavoidable at this point.
Yeah. I mean, obviously, people grieve differently, and maybe some people just go, I can't face going to that funeral, and it doesn't mean they didn't care about the person. And I mean, that in itself doesn't make you the person that killed that person.
Right.
But it does, alarm bells do go off, much like, which we'll hear when we do the second episode. There's a certain gentleman in that alarm bells.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Right, so it's that same sort of thing. You're watching it and you're going, hold up, there's something not right here.
I was amused by that guy, and I was half going like, what a shame. What? You're not quite all there.
Yes. So that was pretty much, I mean, it's a shame that the friend didn't go on the show. It's like, but then
it's his best friend that he convinced to come there and live there and come to work for the company. But
was he living racked with guilt?
His friend now that his friend is dead. Wow, that's intriguing.
It really is. Yeah. So, I mean, you would have thought, that kind of intrigue, that kind of shiftiness, he would have been involved in some sort of search party. You would. Right. You would.
Right.
And having a camera and a direct line to the cops, and
You already know he probably wasn't questioned by police because obviously the police ruled it a suicide. So I mean,
Exactly.
There you go. I mean, he might be our next Ryan Hillegas. So.
Mm. Oh, I was not even thinking about him. Imagine you bringing him up.
Anyways, that guy sends up all kinds of red flags. He is going to have to answer at some point in this. He may think he's going to avoid having to comment on this or answer on this. I think that's wishful thinking on his part, which may lead to wishful drinking on his part, which will probably lead to self-destruction on his part. So
if he's not already been down that route,
Ray's friend, who I can't.
He might already be down
That's
that
how worthless
road.
you are, by the way, that I can't even remember your name. But anyways, go ahead.
Porter. His name's Porter.
Oh, she remembers. What was it again? I still can't remember.
Porter Stansbury. Porter Stansbury.
Too much of a piece of shit for it to stick in my head. So there you go.
Unfortunately, that's the names that stick in my head. I'm like, see you, yeah. Like last night in your live when you were like, see the friend, and I was like, don't say it. So Porter.
That guy's that guy's gonna have some explaining to do. I mean, like I say, he probably hopes and prays he's going to avoid having to comment, and wants to avoid it like the plague. But it's coming for you.
I mean, even if he wasn't
with Unsolved Mysteries getting noticed again, looks like it's gonna rise back to its former, glory in terms of popularity. I don't see this going away, buddy. I see this becoming more of a problem for you, and I'm actually happy for that because you're a sleazy, slimy piece of shit. So, anyways, go ahead, buddy.
I mean, just because he's a shitty friend, it doesn't make him involved, but it does make him, a shitty friend that asks him to come out after he's just get married to start a new life in Baltimore to end up.
To have been that active to get his friend to come there and work there and move his wife who didn't want to go there. To do all those things, to be that much of a
pushy,
involved in your friend's life to where you're convincing him to go against his wife's wishes.
New wife.
That's shaky freaking ground. You know, most husbands aren't looking to do that for their friend. You know, they're more likely wanting to please their wife and friend.
Yeah.
You know, hey, buddy, I'll see you when I come to visit, buddy. You
know, the pleasing the friends comes later. He was just married. That's the thing. He was just married. You would think he'd be like, oh, you know, my wife first. Give him a few years, and then he'd be like, oh, the wife said this and the wife said that. I'm going to listen with the pal, you know.
Right? I mean,
yeah, it's not right away.
Honeymoon. I mean, they were both highly attractive. I'm sure they couldn't keep their hands off each other. You know what I mean? So, I mean, for me,
young and in love.
It makes more sense to me that Ray's gonna be like, nah, you know, Lindsay wants to go live in Florida by the beach, and you know, I'm getting 3 times a day, so I'm going to the beach. You know what I mean? And then, you know, whereas if I move to Baltimore, I'm probably going to get it 3 times a month.
Cold bed.
You know what I mean? So it's like, I'm going to go to the beach. Sorry.
Oh, no.
So, yeah, that's just how inexplicable it is that a friend could have convinced him to do this.
Yep.
And then that friend has absolutely zero interest in his friend when his friend dies. Just, no. Sorry.
Or even helping to find him.
Innocent in any way, shape, or form. He knows something.
No. Yeah. He's too hinky. You know, it's like, I don't know. It's like even, I mean, allegedly he asked the staff not to say anything because, you know, the phone call that came from the Stransbury Associates building, but obviously they couldn't tell who had made that call. But asking the staff not to really give anything out, you know, if that was the case. You know, obviously if there was like financial secrets, don't be telling anybody about anybody's, you know, contracts or, you know, any kind of business thing, that's different. But, you know, when did you last see Ray? You know, how did he look? Was he in, what kind of mood was he in? You know, did he look depressed? And, you know, the typical things that they would ask, you know, or seem happy at work, or distracted.
Much personal information. What was the last thing Ray was working on? You know, things like that, right?
Exactly.
Simple things. Why can't you just? No, it's the complete shutdown, folks. It's the complete. See, Ray's friend and that company and their complete Manitowoc shutdown attitude. You know, just like we see in the Manitowoc, situation with making a murder. Nobody's talking. They're just clamming the hell up and hoping that it just goes away and that they don't have to answer for it eventually. So and that's the same thing that this company's doing. They're just clamming up.
Nina as well.
Yes.
Yeah.
Or even in Oklahoma City.
Yeah.
With Oklahoma City PD.
Yeah.
You know, the officers.
It seems to be the way, isn't it?
Yeah. The officers there have clammed up and they have allowed Daniel to hang, and they decided not to let the jury know that a lot of the things that were being described by these accusers in the interviews were actual techniques taught to Oklahoma City Police Department officers at the academy and stuff. And the thing is they're all taught this, but it's hush hush. Yeah. Don't tell the public about it. We don't want everybody to know about it. So what they did was, because of this certain thing that they have Oklahoma City police officers do, where they have a woman, a lady that they believe is holding drugs or something like that, they will have them grab their bra, like through their shirt, and grab the cups of the bra through their clothing, through their shirt, and they will pull the bra away from their skin, essentially, so that it creates air in between their breasts and the bra, so that anything that might be hidden in the bra or underneath the breast, you know, or anything like that, will then fall out of the bottom of the shirt. So this is the technique that they use. Okay, it's not official. It's not in any handbook. It's not in any. No, there's no official, textbook or anything about this technique. It's all hush hush. And Daniel's brother officers allowed him to hang at trial and didn't want to explain to the jury or anybody else that was actually something that Oklahoma City do, and that
it wasn't him getting handsy.
Right. So when you see things like that, it's when we see omissions like that, that's when you know somebody's up to something, folks. That's how we know that that Rey's friend is not clean here. He knows something or was involved, or somehow he has some inkling of what's going on here, and that's why he's distancing himself from it. That's why he's distancing himself from his friend, ghosting his friend and his best friend's family. That doesn't happen lightly. It doesn't happen lightly. There's a good reason for it.
Someone just asked here, could
Carol
well, I know where. No, when I put this up, look. Could he have found himself in as much danger, as well? Could something have been trying to shut the two of them up? Well, that's what I actually thought of that. I was saying that, but I didn't come out in the order that the question came. I mean, there could have been something, couldn't there? There could have been something to shut them both up. But then why would Rey be dead and Porter, the owner of the company, be, living the high life still,
Yeah.
But yeah, if there was other influences involved, maybe a larger company or something like that was...
to my mind, that's actually more motivation for Porter to come forward if he has any information about this, because, dude, now that Unsolved Mysteries came out, whoever it was that may have taken Rey out because of what he knew and decided to leave you there, they may be rethinking.
Coming for you.
Yeah, they may be rethinking that decision now. They may realize that Unsolved Mystery is going to bring a whole lot of heat, and they may be afraid you're going to crack. So that's something for you to think about, buddy. Anyways, it all comes around.
There might be an Epstein happening to him. He might end up.
There you go.
Yeah,
right.
It might be another suicide.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, I'm pleased that the pathologist made it.
Undetermined. Right?
Yeah, undetermined. Yeah, I was going to say inconclusive, but it's undetermined. I mean, that's good that the pathologist said that, and rather than just saying suicide. Because remember the pathologist had said to the wife, Alison, I know what they're trying to do. Thought that was kind of strange. I know what they're trying to do, but the shin wounds were inconclusive with, fall.
I'd like to get more on that.
Yeah, that was, I would have liked to have known more about that.
My thought is that maybe they were noticing that the bones had started to remodel a little bit in the shins, whereas all the other broken bones in the body that were created from going through the roof, those breaks would have happened right upon death. So therefore, the body wouldn't have been living after that, and so therefore the natural processes of the human body wouldn't have been taking place on those bones. And this is just my theory. This is just me logically kind of maybe working this out. But so my thought is maybe they actually, he may have this, like I say, the forensic examiner may have actually seen some remodeling on the broken shin bones, where maybe those broken bones happened, say, an hour before he went through the roof. And so in that hour, there maybe would have been some remodeling or something going on where there
would be skin changes and stuff like that. There would be skin changes, but I don't know how long after a bone's broken. We maybe could have maybe if there was a nurse in the building, well, you might be able to answer that,
Right.
How long do bones?
I'm thinking that there's probably something that if a bone is broken and it's in a live body for, say, an hour, that there might be something that they can notice that comes from that hour.
Well, from what I've heard is sometimes they'll say, the injury happened in or around time of death. So sometimes they can't determine whether that's happened at the point or just before. So I think I don't know how long. His bureau could help by pressing the like button. That's not what I want to know. I want to know how long. I know how long it takes for bones to start showing signs that there's, been a break and, I'll see. Maybe it's beyond his expertise.
Right. Could be. I'm just thinking that there would probably be some kind of indicators that they can find. He says absolutely can tell a lot about it. So yeah, I'm just thinking that probably if the bones were broken in a live body for an hour, that there would be a difference between the way those breaks look maybe and the ones that happened instantaneously upon death as he was going through the roof. So for me, in my mind, there's an explanation for why they could look different. Maybe that's why the shin bones were standing out to the medical examiner. So that's just my theory, and
Yeah. So the inflammation process takes 4 days to go away. William said.
Right.
So I'm wondering if he's saying that obviously there would be something obviously would happen round about that area, but that would take 4 days for that to calm back down again. So there's obviously the minute you break it, if you're alive, something happens in the body where the body sends all the things to that area.
Okay, so that's interesting. So he's saying inflammation. So you're saying that the shins where the breaks were would most likely have swelled up, the flesh itself around the break.
Then if he was severely decomposed after so many days,
and then with the other ones, they would have happened as he was going through the roof upon death. The body wouldn't have been living to start swelling up in those injured areas. That might be it right there. Maybe that's what the medical examiner saw. So thank you, William. That's an interesting point.
Yeah.
So just broke my.
Well, I'm saying the pathologist would be able to tell how old the break was as well.
Right.
Thank you, William.
Thanks, buddy. So there you go. That's potentially what the medical examiner was keying on.
Yeah.
So.
Because these things, they do make a difference. It's like, just think, but there's different types of breaks as well. So I wish I could find. I see my brain goes away crazy, and I go, I wish I could know more about that. And I want to know. I'm like, I need to know. I get all eyes eye, and I'm like, I want to know. But definitely if that was the case, but I think it would be probably the cells. I think it would be I would have thought it would have been like cells in around that area would have shown the inflammation rather than still being swelling. They would be in the blood vessels, I would have thought, to show that there was a swelling in that area when he died.
Right.
You know what I mean? Because if he was so severely decomposed after dying,
he might have just shown up as dark staining around the area. Sure.
But if they had the cells under the microscope, they would still be able to see those things. They would know. That's the pathologist.
Something to do with this. I'm thinking the medical examiner was able to.
Yeah, they would know. Yeah. I'm getting all cunty now. But I would have thought they would be able to.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see Unsolved Mysteries revisit this one, hopefully at some point.
But for the police just to say suicide, though, is that lazy police work?
Oh, absolutely. Oh, that's.
Well, remember
is it lazy police work, or does maybe the company have some friends in high places, or in the right?
Remember,
right?
Remember that the detective that was on the case get taken off and get put onto the.
That's another one, right? The one that thought it looked staged. Yeah.
Yeah, that was suspicious to me. I thought, he's no longer there. He's moved right away. Yeah. And it's moved to the FBI traffic something he was moved to. And I thought, what do they always say in these cop programs? It's like, you're getting moved over to traffic if you if you don't settle down, and it was you're going to be back in your uniform and you're going to be, pounding the streets. So
William says Carol did it.
Yeah.
Carol Baskin done it.
Do you know what's wrong with him? He's been watching Ripper. He's been watching all the Ripper stuff. You get Carol Baskin in the head, William.
I'll tell you what, I was privileged to be able to hook Ripper up with somebody recently. I'm not going to say any much about it. All I can say is I really hope that what I helped those two connect to do, I really can't wait to see it. So I look forward to hopefully seeing the results of that. But I can tell you, folks, there's a lot going on with Don Lewis. There's a lot going on with Carol Baskin. I anticipate we're going to have another chapter to that story.
Yeah.
Sometime with, over the next year, maybe two. Yeah. But I'm expecting we're gonna get a lot more information in that chapter, that story.
Did you see Ripper get chucked out the cat place? Yeah. I would have been wanting my money back. I mean, it was something like $250 or something to get in there.
I like it how he says when he was going out and he was just being nice, saying, like, hey, I'll see you later to the lady at the turnstile where you going, and he goes, did she just look back at me and went, no, I won't. Like, he's like, no, I thought that was uncalled for. And I was like,
is that a death threat? Is that a death threat?
I was laughing. It was so funny, dude. It was just like, he's like, that was uncalled for. So that was
so funny, though. Yes, funny.
It was so funny. Hey, look, Ripper's doing some great work over there, folks. So he's on the trail over there and of Carol Baskin. Obviously, that's a big deal right now. Everybody's interested in that right now, just like they were interested in making a murderer.
Yeah,
about 2 years ago and about 4 years ago. So, it's that's what's happening now. Like I said, though, I'm very, very excited to see the results of what happens from who I teamed Ripper up with. So awesome.
Well, good. I hope we're here soon. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So. But I mean, you do wish that guy would come forward, though, and just either. I mean, well, I think, if it was me, would I be inclined to come forward? Or would I be saying, I'm not going to say anything. If I say something, they're going to twist it. Maybe he's got lawyers advising him not to come forward. What these rich people can be like. It's like they're not,
right.
They're told don't say anything, don't volunteer any information, don't, whatever.
When you got something to hide, that's what they say. Yeah.
Yeah. No, but even when you're innocent, lawyers tell you don't speak to the police.
Yeah, sometimes, yeah, but they're more willing to consider talking to the police and doing preemptive, proactive things when they actually believe you're innocent. It's when they actually believe you're guilty that the shut the hell up becomes like concrete, set in stone. Shut the up. You know what I mean? So,
but I mean, between the 16th though and the 24th.
Well, look at what Manitowoc, Calumet, Eagle Nation. Anyway, sorry. You're not to go
I was just
over and over again, but
going to say between the 16th when he went missing and the 24th when they found him. I mean, he was like missing, didn't know where he was. Could have been anything. Could have run away with a woman. Anything could have happened. Could have had an accident, had amnesia. Any of these things.
Could have, but then again,
the friend didn't want to be involved in any way to help. Didn't want to say I've not seen him.
Right. Hey, look, for me, the most telling thing of all is that Don Lewis was very attached to his phone, folks. He was very attached to it. You want to know how attached to his phone he was? Like
sexy time.
99% of the time that he was in bed getting it on, his phone was with him. He couldn't even.
I mean, it's Carol Baskin though. Would you not be on your phone
without putting down his phone?
Yeah.
Okay. So when you know that about Don, doesn't it seem a little bit strange that he went missing and somehow Carol had his phone?
Yeah.
This guy who didn't even put his phone down during sex somehow went missing and Carol ended up with his phone.
And did his contract not get cancelled as well? Did she not cancel his phone contract?
Yeah, she ended up turning the phone off. Yes. Mm-hmm. Right.
Yeah. Dodgy as a bleep.
Yep, there's plenty of stuff there that's yeah. Anyway.
I just wish there was more information about this. That I do hope that people dig. That's what I said when we watched it. I said, brilliant. This is great. There's going to be a team of folk. They're going to be going crazy like we all do the minute there's any of these programs on, and we start thinking about it, and we're just like getting it into our heads, and we're like, this could it have been this, or could it have been that, or and I mean, I'm thinking from the point of view of like if you think like even Alison's wife, she's had that for all these years on her own. You know, she's been like, you know, she's phoning the police. It's a suicide. Go over it. Accept it. Move on. You know, whenever, you know. And she's like, I'll believe it when you can prove it. You know, sort of thing. But I mean, to be the family, you know, to be the brother and sister of him as well, and the mother, you know, to to just be having that hanging over you all that time, knowing that they know he didn't commit suicide. The police are saying he did, but the pathologist saying something different, you know. So yeah, it couldn't be nice. It can't be nice for them. But I would hope that people looking into it, you know, maybe bring them a bit of comfort. You know, that they're not. I don't want to say not crazy, just thinking it themselves. But yeah, when other people are going, no, that doesn't sound right. You know, it does validate them in a way that they're, you know, and I would hope it would give them some sort of hope that maybe, you know.
I believe they have hope. I believe just the fact that Unsolved Mysteries has picked them up, and are now seeing that Unsolved Mysteries is number 2 on Netflix right now. I'm sure they're very pleased with that. So, you know, what the heck is number 1 anyways right now? What the hell was that? See if I even recognize it. Okay. Oh, The Old Guard is number 1 right now, which I haven't watched. But yeah,
William
at number 2.
William said, in typical William fashion, he said he says he thinks that they were lovers.
Right.
Him and Ray.
Him and who?
And so. Poor Ray and something. Yeah. But you never know.
Ray seemed like
thank you, Alice.
like a guy who really liked the ladies.
Yeah,
but maybe not. I don't know.
You never know. Well, just look at what's his name. What's that guy's name? Him that's.
I will say it was pretty effeminate for him to wake up and make her breakfast at 5 o'clock in the morning. I mean that was kind of like, you know, he woke up at like 5:30 in the morning to make. I mean, I don't know. Maybe.
Here's your breakfast. What are you going to do for me, honey? You never know. It could have been that.
Because most red-blooded men probably wouldn't do that, right? No,
I was going to say Ricky Martin. Look, that's the guy I was trying to remember the name of. Ricky Martin. He was the one that saw the woman. He was like, oh, the women.
Living La Vida Loca.
But then he's gay, you know. So you never know. You just don't know.
Well, Ricky Martin, yeah. Well, yeah.
I mean, but at the time, I was like, hey, he's a bit, you know.
Hey, all right. What about Bruno Mars then? What's the chances we're gonna see Bruno Mars ending up coming out? You know.
Well.
As William would say, Brokeback Mountain.
These days, it doesn't matter. These days, it doesn't matter.
It doesn't.
And it could feel one way one day and another way the next, and it doesn't matter. But I definitely think
saying, Bruno's
there's something about the way he wears his jackets, though, that make me go.
You know what I mean? I'm just saying, a little flashy. He likes that sparkle.
And the jackets with it,
So I'm just, you know, like and then Uptown Funk, hair curlers, dry. I'm just saying. Look.
Just saying. What have you got under that hat?
And there's nothing wrong with it if he was. So, anyways.
But then look at Prince. People would say that he was, you know, effeminate and stuff like that. You know, he would wear his high heels and all that. But he had all the hot women. He had all the women.
With him, dude, that he was, you know. For me, there was no question with him, especially after I saw the video "Get Off." I was like, "Holy moly, dude!" My 17-year-old brain was like, "Whoa!"
Let a woman be a woman and a man be a man. Yep.
Anyway, I mean, he's just that in that video. He's got the guitar on. He's walking around playing. He's just then would just walk up to a girl, spin her, and push her over, like bend her over like that, and start gyrating. And, you know, obviously clothes all on. But for me, he's 17 years old. I was going, "Whoa, dude, whoo." Anyways, but no.
Yeah, I love Prince. William says, Prince is a hooter. You shut up, William. No, he's not. Neil will give you oh, dear.
William, I'm glad you're now going to have Neil like whistling all day.
Yes.
So,
yeah. We're big Prince fans in this house. But William likes Michael Jackson, so we have a bit of a,
the way you made me feel.
We have a bit of a problem in here sometimes, it's like, get that Michael Jackson off and get Prince on, So, yeah, so. But I mean, Michael Jackson, I know there's controversy coming out, obviously, about him, but, what's your gay Darcy about him?
No, I don't know. My honest opinion about Michael Jackson is that he was just completely damaged, extremely damaged from the white hot fame that he had from 10 years old.
Yeah.
He didn't develop correctly, didn't have proper relationships in his life. I just think he was broken in a lot of ways. And so I don't know if I can necessarily boil his problems down to sexuality. I think I boil his problems more down to a sense of him feeling lonely, even though there was people all around, feeling very lonely because he didn't know. He had no way of knowing whether people liked him for him or if they liked him because he was Michael Jackson. And that
like Erekose?
That had to also mess him down. I'm not nowhere near the plane of Michael Jackson. But I think that's where he was at. I think that was what he struggled with, and
like a lot of child
I don't
stars
agree with the way he gravitated to children. I think it's very reasonable to make the assumption that he gravitated to children because he felt they were more honest and didn't care about his fame.
Yeah.
It wasn't a big deal for them. And so he found them more relatable than the adult parents who were tripping over themselves because he was Michael Jackson, right? So,
Exactly. I agree. But, look at how many child stars have went down, they went down a wrong path, because of, they're messed up,
Oh, and the women were saying yes, please.
Yeah. William. Did you see what he said? He loves you for your own.
Yeah, you like the way I do it, right? See, there you go.
That's it. I told you.
That's the States way. So it just doesn't agree with that havering madman over there in Galashiels, so yeah.
Well, we were laughing because Neil said he wished they'd done an axe still because he was going to get outside with an onion.
There you go.
Job it with an axe, but we don't have an axe anymore, Jack Nicholson borrowed it the last time we had it, so we had to get rid of it.
I had one in here as a prop, but I can't reach it right now. So. I have a nice blue.
Don't worry.
It's really cool.
Oh, okay.
Anyway.
What do you use that for? Oh, we would use it for...
Just this weekend, I was helping remove a stump, so that's one place where I would use it.
So were you giving it all the, I'm a lumberjack and I'm okay. Oh, dear.
No, but...
See, we did say we were going to be serious, but fun as well. So, we find it hard to...
Let's see, Neil buried his axe in his last husband.
His last husband.
That sounds like a Jack and Victor joke there.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely. You know what they two are like. Oh dear. But so
I like it. They're fishing out the fiber and then Jack's like, no, what are you doing? What are you doing? And he's like,
this is the one you want.
That's the one you're needing here. And he pulls out a different set of tweezers.
Can that be good?
That's what I imagine Neil and William is that scene right there. So.
No, well, they've done that. They've done that. They've put like money in something and oh yeah. It was exactly one of those things. I wish I'd been there to get a photograph. It would have been funny. The Stonecutters. The Stonecutters weren't demon.
Oh, Stonecutters. The stonemasons. What do they call it again? Stonecutters. That episode is so hilarious.
I know. Who held back the electric car? Who made Steve Gutenberg a star?
Who made Steve Gutenberg a star? Yeah.
We do. I love that one.
Another one I love is the one when it's the X-Files one, and they end up finding out in the end that it's just Mr. Burns.
Yeah, we bring you love.
Yeah,
he's like, we bring you love.
After years at the nuclear power plant, he has a nice glow in the dark. I love the Simpsons.
Yeah, me too. I like the monorail one as well, the monorail song. Oh, yeah, it's funny. Mono. Oh dear. Yes, exactly. My money. Do you know what? That's funny as well because he's saying that it's okay to put when it's my money, right? Because he's saying that because we were in McDonald's and it was drive-through, and the change, I had held my purse out and I'd said to him, put it in the wee thing, right? Meaning the wee bit in the middle of my purse where the change goes. He thought I meant put it in the wee thing for the donations. And he put my change in it.
Oh.
He put my change in the blooming donations thing.
Determination that you don't care, so he wouldn't have to fish change.
I was like, that's my change in it.
I see. Now I see his
motive. I was like, no, the wee thing in my purse. So probably my fault for not being specific. Get it in the middle of my purse. But
if you can, do the Bartman. If you can. Sorry, somebody brought up the Bartman.
Oh dear. Yeah, I think we're children of the Simpsons era. We're all,
I'll tell you what, I haven't watched the Simpsons very regularly in the last 10 years, but
I would say
like the first 20 seasons, I've seen every episode. I mean, I've
multiple times.
Oh, many of them. Oh, more than, beyond multiples on some of them. Some of my favorite episodes I've probably seen 40 times.
Yeah, I know. I know, we would always watch it.
Yeah, I've probably seen some of them that much, So.
Yeah. The same way, and I'm quite fond of South Park because I like that. I like the irony of that, the fact that it's like, just so out there and it's like, but it's so what everybody's thinking, but they don't say, it's Big Red Dad. That's my thing. When he was his wee cop one, did you see that one? And I love the one.
Cartman's trying to figure out who his dad is. Good one.
I love the one, the Faith Plus one, where Cartman decides that they're going to do a Christian rock band, and they change all the songs. Instead of it being like "You're once, twice, three times a lady," they would change it to "You're once, twice, three times a Jesus." So they were just changing all these songs. They were changing all these songs, famous songs, and they would put Jesus in it instead of, oh dear. Do you know, it's so funny. Honestly, I end up with tears in my eyes. It's so funny. But it was like they get really famous and they've got like a gold album, and it's like, they end up, it's really funny. It's really funny. Yeah. But there's so many times
going home, or they killed Kenny, those bastards. Anyway.
I love the movie as well. It's like I love the
Canada.
Blame Canada. Yeah. But I mean, there's certain parts in that film now that probably would be, seen as at the time it was seen as being funny, like when they said, have you ever heard of the Emancipation Proclamation, and things like that. And the guy says, "I don't listen to hip hop," you know, and you know, and things like that. There's, you know, the name that they had for the frontline forces, you know, was certain part of the demographic were put at the front of the battle, you know.
Right.
Let's say that's all I'll say. So, but yeah, then obviously we've got Chef and his salty balls, you know, and all that, you know. And
oh, Chef, the chocolate salty balls.
Yeah.
Mr. Hinky. And then Mr. Hinky likes the chocolate salty balls because the salt allows him to hold on to the water so he doesn't dry. Anyways, so oh my God. Or he has to go in people's mouths so that he'll stay moist until he gets to water again.
I know. Yeah.
Oh my God, man, the Mr. But anyway,
there was one the other week there where he was doing instead of a defamation lawsuit he was taking out, he kept saying a defecation lawsuit.
Defecation lawsuit.
It was a defecation lawsuit. And it was so funny. Oh dear. It's so funny.
Yeah. Yeah, I love South Park. Funny stuff, man. I mean, Butters, you got Butters. I liked when
everyone loves Butters. Yeah.
You know, and that's just it. That's Trey Martin, Matt Stone. Actually, Trey's the one that basically does the writing, but I mean, that's just him, dude. Like, he just. I mean, look at the way that show goes, dude. His writing style is interesting. I'll just say that. Like, the whole series with the Memba Berries, like that whole. There's like, I don't know. There's probably, I think it's like a 4 or 5 episode span where the Memba Berries. Like, so that whole thing, dude. It's like, oh my God, Trey. Dude, what drugs were you doing when you were writing that one? Because holy crap. You know what I mean?
It wasn't far wrong though, you know, because it was like they were like, you know, people like spamming each other, you know, and then getting in and, you know, they were, you know, the dad, was it Kyle's dad? Kyle's dad was, you know, he was the one that was, you know,
right, the whole
writing all the horrible things to the people, you know, and it was and then. But that was part of the Member Berries one, wasn't it?
That's where it started. I mean, but eventually, Mr. Garrison is acting like Donald Trump.
Oh
and it's just like, dude, it gets so out there. The Member Berries have this little crime syndicate, and like it's just like by the time it gets to the like 5th, 6th episode of that series, it's just like getting so far out. It's just like.
But that's just funny. I love it.
It's great. But that's Trey Parker, man. He's just he's a bit of a nutty one. So
I find it hard to compare other, you know, sort of any of these other things. I think these two are just like up there for me. Because like I've never been into Family Guy or any of the other ones. I've just never watched. We did watch what's that one? That future one? Was it Futurama? No.
Oh, Futurama, yeah.
Yeah, we did watch that for a while.
I like Futurama.
I just got a fright there. Neil's at the window with a watering can. I thought he had the axe, you know. But we watched that for a wee while, but we never really watched Family Guy or any of the other ones. There's like so many ones out now, isn't there? There's
right.
I don't know. I think you either get into them or you don't. Neil must be listening to this.
Yeah.
He must be listening to this on his headphones while he's watering the garden. Because he just chapped the window and did the axe. So he must have heard, right? Saying that I got a fright with the axe.
I think he's a little bit behind if he's still on the axe part, but no worries.
Well, he's got to water. He's watering the garden, so he's like, "Oh, get these plants watered first, you know, and then I'll get the axe out for the wife, you know."
So, all right. Well, I think we've gone a little farther, a little bit over our normal time today, folks.
Just a wee smidge.
Usually try to keep it shorter, but you know,
we do.
We got the gabbing today, so
yeah. Yeah, but it's been good though.
We're not like the three Scottish monkeys. So
no, we're certainly not. Which I do like that. And I laughed at the fact that you censored yours.
Start out the CK, yeah. I didn't want to have any trouble with Facebook.
Yeah, I was like, never thought it. Yeah, well. Okay, so, well, everybody, thanks for, I don't want to say tuning in. It's as if we were on the telly or something like that, you know. But as usual, it's the usual crew, isn't it? It's our usual wee crew, which is nice. You know, I hope you are all enjoying it. And I believe you're taking the weekend off next weekend, so we might not be on. Is that right?
Sort of. I mean, well, I'm interviewing Jason Strong on Saturday morning. But like I've said before, that's not too bad because that's just me. I literally sit down and enjoy have a chat with somebody who I enjoy talking to. So it's not exactly like work. So, but as far as doing anything editing, well, I'll tell you what, folks. I have 6 Daniel Holtzclaw videos ready to go now. I decided not to make the 2-hour and 45-minute thing all one thing today and bore the shit out of all of you. I decided to break it up into parts. So, hey, trust me, folks, you're going to thank me, especially when you get to some of the parts where Travis is talking. So, anyways, so.
Look at what Neil wrote. He wrote, I'm just listening so I know I can get my dinner.
My supper.
Oh, dear. Well, he will long wait. So, but anyway, if we're not doing it next week, I'll let everybody know.
We'll do it this we can do, like I said. So it's just I'm not going to be doing any editing and stuff like that. So, but like I said,
anyone that
episode's ready to go for Daniel Holtzclaw.
So next week we'll do the second episode of.
Yeah, we'll do the second episode of.
So anybody wants to do their homework can watch that episode, so they can join in and see if they've got any thoughts of any strange. Alash Yorick.
Yeah.
Alash Yorick. I knew him well. You know, do you remember that bit where he was the certain person that we were saying was a bit hinky?
Oh, that guy, right.
Yes, and I was saying, you know, the phrase Alash Yorick. I knew him well. You know what the guy's doing at the time.
Yeah, right.
You don't know what I'm talking about.
No, I don't because I want to let everybody know the name of the second episode is No Ride Home.
It wasn't in this. I was referring to a Shakespeare thing where they were holding a skull, and he was holding the Yorick's skull, and he says, "Alas, poor Yorick, I knew him well."
Right.
So that's what I was referring to, you know, because in the second episode, there's a certain person that holds a skull. Let's say.
Oh, okay, right. Yeah,
you remember? Yeah.
I know what you're talking about. Yeah, that guy's interesting.
Yeah. So watch the second episode, and then we can all have a chat about it, and you just maybe have some ideas of anybody that you think's, you know, suspicious or not. But that one's not quite the same. It's not got the same, you know, whatever mystery around it. There's obviously, you know, nobody falls through a hole.
Actually, there is kind of. I mean,
you think?
Well,
we'll talk about that next week.
Like I said, we'll talk about it next week.
We'll save
it is interesting that the first forensic team that came out searching the river didn't find anything. So I'll leave it at that for now. That the first team didn't find what was found there later. So that's enough of a teaser for you guys to understand what's going on there. So.
You're getting a row for not knowing it was Shakespeare.
I know who Shakespeare was.
So uncultured.
I'm going to be honest with you, Sharon. I didn't understand. I mean, we had just brought up episode 2, but you were jumping to episode 4 talking about the guy, which I understand because it's funny to talk about that guy. He's quite a character. But I was like trying to wait. Let's say the name of episode 2.
I wasn't talking about 4.
And so I wasn't.
I've not seen 4.
Anyways, see, you know.
Oh dear.
Sometimes the Ouija just gets a little ahead.
I was going to say, here we go. Blame the Ouija. I know it's you.
I knew it was Shakespeare. I get all that, but I was trying to say something else first before we moved to the crazy guy in episode 4. But anyway.
Right. We're just used to seeing the crazy guy on here.
Yeah, there you go. That's me.
That's it. So we'll see bananas. Yeah. So we'll see you all next week, hopefully. Tell your pals, because obviously this is like the best show on YouTube, isn't it?
Yep. Right. There you go.
So we'll catch you all later. I'm going to end this now, and I'll see you all next week.
Okay, folks.